Howdy everyone, Podge here with an Ancient Magic video. In today's video, we're going to go over the Q&A just released by Playcott. It's been long waited for. The community have been wanting answers for a while now, and I guess this will cover most of it. It is quite long. This video will be long. If you don't want my feedback or thoughts, feel free to just go read it yourself. Probably be quicker. Up to you guys. Do whatever you want. But we'll go over it all. I'll comment after each section. I won't comment while I'm reading it. I'll just finish a question, then comment. Anyway, we'll get into it. Q&A, balance of heroes, new campaign acts, doom gates, and much more. It is time to answer the most burning questions from the community. We've selected the most frequently asked questions and tried to answer them as in much detail as possible in the current stage of development. Do we plan to rebalance the heroes? Will there be new campaign acts? When will the Gates of Doom reopen? That's a burning question. I continue reading to find out. I'm just going to read to find out about Doom Gates, but of course there's other important things. Okay, question 1, do we plan to rebalance the Archons? Pretty heated discussion at the moment about the Archons. I mean, that's what everyone is talking about because that is all the game is at the moment. Golden Boys. The answer, Archons were originally designed to be one of the several strongest factions. We understand that many players put a lot of effort to get the Archons. Therefore, it would be unfair to weaken them. I don't like that wording. Weaken them. Okay. I'll finish the answer. At the same time, we carefully listen to your feedback, and we clearly see the current state of arena and tournament. The good news is that it is a temporary situation caused by the early release of the Archons. We are already working on adding other heroes equal in strength to the Archons. The first step in this direction we have already taken. In June, we plan to release new heroes from the Dark Elf faction who can compete with the Archons. In order to get them, you will need High Elves and Wild Elves. Fair enough. After the release of the Dark Elves, we will add heroes who will be able to stand against the Dark Elves, but won't be that effective against the Archons. This will help us create a healthy competition between several factions in the arena and the tournament. Recently, many of you have been telling us that Magnus is nearly invincible. We checked this and confirmed that the squads with Magnus and Archons can be defeated by squads with the Archons in company of Balthazar, Mabe, Danae, and some other heroes. I'm gonna wait to the end. Many of you made a great effort to get Magnus, and given this, we decided not to weaken him. There's the word again. Another piece of good news is that we are planning to add leadership abilities to the existing characters. I hope you don't mean the existing Archons, so that many heroes as possible will become stronger and more useful in the game. Yes, we love our heroes, no less than you love them. We will tell more about the response to questions about rebalance. Okay, so where do we start? Jesus. The Archons were it would be unfair to weaken them. Okay, honestly, straight off the bat, I would be 100. If this is the direction you want, I'm happy you've given us some information. That's what people want about the direction you want to go. I am 100% curious. 100% curious that if you release, because I know there are some people against it, I know there are some people for it, but if you released a poll into the game asking what the play, because I feel like they're not doing this because they don't want to upset players. So I'm wondering, I really would be interested in knowing that if they released a poll into the game asking if people would be happy with the Archons being reworked, changed, some of their abilities changed, what the percentage for would be and what the percentage against would be. Just out of pure curiosity. I could do a poll. I'm sure some people could do a poll. It would not be as effective as getting a consensus from the community through the game as everyone goes through the game. Would be 100% interested about that. So Dark Elves are going to counter the Archons, and then another faction will be introduced to counter the Dark Elves. So people are going to be thinking, why do you even bother getting the Dark Elves? I mean, this issue should have already been sorted where, the High Elves countered the Archons and the Wild Elves countered the High Elves, and then that should have been the order of it. But it's going to be interesting to see how difficult they make it to get these characters. honestly, I wouldn't stress too much about this. I would say to yourself, if you are a free-to-play player, now this is going to be, there's a few issues with this, and I know it before I even say it, but I'll explain my thought. If you are a free-to-play player and you're thinking to yourself, how the fuck am I going to collect all these heroes and be competitive? If I was a free-to-play player, I would make the decision. You've got the Archons already. You're already working on the Archons. You're at some point deep in the Archons bumhole, okay? Keep going with them and make a choice to max out one of these factions, the Dark Elves or the faction that is going to be built to counter the Dark Elves. Honestly, I would go Dark Elves because they would come out before this third faction, and then you would have Archons and Dark Elves. That way you have the Archons to counter the third faction, you have the Dark Elves to counter the Archon, and you're set. You should be set from every... You don't need this third, third ability to fight the Archons, because you have the Archons to battle the Archons, you have the Dark Elves to battle the Archons, then you have the Archons to battle this third faction. So I wouldn't stress too much about it. Sure, you still have a weaker roster because you don't have all these heroes, but you only need 2 of the 3 factions. So I would go Archons, Dark Elves. That would be my path as a free-to-play player. As a whale, buy it all, whatever. Who gives a shit? You're gonna get it anyway. This I don't like. Magnus, I feel like if this is the direction you want to take, change Magnus's passive. It's ridiculous. It's as ridiculous as Sakrif's passive. Okay? The champion taunts anytime a champion below, is it 20 or 30% HP is hit. It's got no cooldown. If the taunt wears off, you go back to attacking that target below 30% HP, you hit him once, the taunt comes back up. I don't like it. That's my personal opinion. Change at least that. And then there's some stuff about reworking, but I think they mentioned this later on. So that's the first question. Free-to-play player, pick the Archons. You're already working on them, and then pick a second faction you want to work on and go for that. You should be fine. It just depends on how difficult this is. And, I'd go Dark Elves because you already got the healer. Don't forget, Azariel's already in the game. Most of you probably already have her max. That's one of the 5 heroes you're going to need. Because not all 7 Dark Elves are going to be, slapping you in the face. You've got Azariel. Obviously, she's going to be made stronger in some way through a leadership ability or something. You've got one of the 5 Dark Elves you already need. You need to collect 4. Go Dark Elves if you're a free-to-play player. All right, next one. When will the new axe of the campaign and Valley of Treasure appear in the game? Answer: since we had to focus our efforts on Clan Wars recently, the development of the new axe and the campaign of Valley of Treasure was suspended. Now this mode is ready and will soon be added to the game on a permanent basis. Although eventually we will probably continue to refine Clan Wars. The new acts of the campaign and Valley of Treasure require a lot of work, but we will be happy to resume them in the nearest future. The team is already working on new fascinating worlds and stories. At the moment, we can't say exactly when the acts of the campaign will be released because then we may face various difficulties in the process, as we did in developing Clan Wars. Some obstacles may force us to move deadlines or even rework everything from scratch. By announcing particular dates, we risk to disappoint you even more in case we have to reschedule. Therefore, we kindly ask you to wait for announcements. When the time comes, we will be more than happy to announce that the new acts will appear in the game. Here are a few more arena sketches and the new campaign acts that we are thrilled to share with you. Lots of stuff. Like I said, it's going to be a long video. Okay, Clan Wars, that's such a burden. I understand why they don't want to release dates. Clan Wars was a big FU. It took so long. We were promised it month after month. It took like nearly a year or over a year. I can't even remember. I was still in my mother's womb when it was announced. Womb. Sorry, not wound. Womb. Okay, it's needed. They need to release the acts of the campaign. That's standard for the game. What I would like to see is more effort put into PvE content that isn't campaign or raids. Something a single player can fight against and farm something. Just something to battle against a big boss or something. And yeah, campaign acts are nice. You'll be able to farm new gear, new heroes, so forth, get more silver, everything, all that fancy stuff. But I want more content. Content, not Clan Wars content, not PvP content. I'm over PvP. Give me some PvE stuff. And that's a big problem for the. This PvP is why there is so many issues in the game, because that's all the content is, PvP, and people are building heroes to battle PvP. If there was PvE stuff in the game, there wouldn't be so many complaints, because people wouldn't care what you have to build, because everyone's trying to beat the same thing. They're not trying to beat each other. They just want to beat stuff. So I think more PvE content would be better. At the moment, yeah, okay. Some obstacles, fair enough. Hopefully it's not Clan Wars obstacles, because, you know, they're campaign acts. There's some arena, the Roots of the Star Tree. It's pretty cool. I mean, their art's always good. There's nothing horrible about their art. Keep that up. Ooh, here we go. We know that you loved Age of Magic lore, therefore we will continue to tell it not only with the help of campaign acts, but also through the storyline events. In the June update, we are going to tell you the story of Sandariel through the special storyline event similar to the Fractured World event. I'm pretty sure that's the Balthazar event. That's alright. So she's going to be hard to get, obviously. She looks cool. I think that's her skin, though. That's not how she normally looks. I hope they rework her. If they give her a pretty decent kit, she could potentially make the Wild Elves somewhat viable. It depends on the healer, really. If they get a good healer and a good leadership ability with Sandariel, who knows? Who knows? She looks fucking awesome, though. There's a new campaign act. Oh, no, that's the... Okay, so it's going to be a Balthazar event. Whatever. It is what it is. Are you planning to rebalance the old heroes? If yes, then how exactly? Will you add leadership abilities to the existing bosses? As we mentioned above, the response to numerous requests from the community, we will rebalance the old heroes. This is a complex and long process, considering the changing of the existing heroes will also require a review of the balance in the campaign acts, Valley of Treasure, and of course the portals to the unknown. According to our forecast, we should be able to rebalance some existing heroes by the end of the year. It is likely that the rebalance will be introduced by iterations of several heroes, so that changes take effect earlier. As part of the rebalance effort, we plan to make some existing heroes stronger and also increase synergies between the existing factions and brotherhoods by adding leadership abilities so that many heroes as possible can be used in the game. In the near future, we are planning to add leadership abilities to the Magnificent Danae. That's good. Danae's are strong. Barbarians are fairly strong. I think, Danae having a leadership ability, might be spicy. Thereby strengthening their entire faction of barbarians. The next step will be the rebalance of This is interesting. Drevarad and Cathbad. These heroes will receive synergy not only with druids, but also with the Children of Forest and New Wild Elf faction. We will publish details about the rebalance closer to the release. Stay tuned for announcements. Okay, First thing, I hope that they said they're going to rebalance existing heroes. I hope the idea of rebalancing isn't just to add a leadership ability to a character. That's not good. Rework each character individually, make them semi-useful in some, give them something. Don't, Blood Emperor was awesome, but the Archons, the Arrogant Undead, they weigh him down a lot. Like, yeah, they're decent, they can do a lot of stuff, but could you imagine that if the Arrogant Undead, their characters had some use as a single entity instead of just relying on their leader, they'd be a strong faction. So it'd be interesting to see what they're going to do. Are they just going to are they going to make Danae a Choran, where the barbarians are still pretty useless, but Danae makes them useful? I want to mix and match characters. I want Aratar to be decent, where I can use him in a different squad, like mix and match. Brotherhoods will be good. They need more brotherhoods. I think that will encourage people to build cross-faction teams. In the near future, yeah, cool. There was something else I wanted to talk about in here. this. Where is it? Dreverad and Cathbad. That's really interesting because the Druids aren't a horrible faction. Excluding the Archons and the shit they can pour down on you, Cathbad and Dreverad mixed with Mabe are quite a powerful combination. Think about pre-Archons. The Druids used to be a tremendous pain in the ass in Raid to deal with, mainly because they had multiple of the same characters. But still, Dreverad, Cathbad, and Mabe together are quite powerful because Mabe increases their speed. Dreverad is pretty good tank, and Cathbad has got some pretty decent healing abilities. Buffing or rebalance, we should rebalance Dreverad. So by rebalance, it's not really a rework. They're probably just going to buff their abilities, their current abilities, with the synergy. I feel like that's all that means. It'll be interesting. Who knows? They're pretty strong anyway. I'm saying that, not taking into consideration the Archons. Anyway, moving on. When are you planning to supplement the incomplete factions with heroes? Will these heroes be strong enough to let the old factions to take their rightful place in the game? From the very beginning, we had the objective to create a full-fledged world with complete factions. Some heroes are currently unavailable or not present in the game, but we are working to fill the existing factions with heroes. In the previous update, Abaddon, Choran, and Blood Emperor became available, while the June update will also bring the first Dark Elves and Sendariel. Moreover, we are working hard on the heroes from factions of the Wild Elves, Dark Elves, Druids, Dragon King, Children of the Forest, and Renegades. Some of them will appear very soon, while others will become available later. We'd like to take the opportunity to share you some of the early concepts artworks of some long-awaited heroes. Again, the same thing comes here. Like, yeah, cool, Choran was a powerful character, but the dwarves without Choran are still shit. Same with Abaddon. Without him, his art's alright. So succubus, but you get the picture. Same with Blood Emperor. Without Blood Emperor, what are the arrogant undead? I hope they don't do that. Put a bit of love into some more characters. Then we've got, here we go, the new, he looks pretty cool. He is pretty cool. The new Dragon King. New Dragon King guy, I don't know what, probably the boss maybe? You'd have to go Golden Hair. It doesn't suit him. That's not really Dragon King stuff. This is Dragon King. Give him that. Put a bloody dragon head on the back or something. It looks pretty cool. I hope they rework Rogar though, and Karana. Make him viable. I mean, Karana's pretty strong. Give her a leadership ability. Like, she's not horrible. Rogar though, useless. And here we go, Renegades. We got... yeah. So we got a guy with a blood bow by the looks of it. He's going to be the... what are these classes going to be? He's the caster, isn't he? Pretty sure Balthazar's the caster. He's not the boss. He'd have to be the tank. No way is anyone else going to be the tank. So caster, tank, range damager. Let me look at my screen. Cast? No. So, one of these would have to be the healer. Surely she's not going to be the healer because... I don't want another girl healer. Make a girl tank or something. I don't know. Rogue, maybe? Rogue, healer, boss. I want to make that my prediction. Caster, range damager. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we're missing a character. We're missing a character. I feel like the melee damager might be missing. Unless this motherfucker is a melee damager. He looks pretty cool. Yeah, they're cool. As if they weren't going to be cool. Are you planning on finalizing the marks? Yes. Ooh, alright. With the existing factions get their missing marks. We know that the mark system makes Age of Magic battles unique. Yes, I moved my screen. Damn it. We are planning to review it during the rebalance process. We already mentioned changes of the mark system can greatly affect all game modes, especially the campaign, portals, and unknown. So far, we cannot promise that the mark system will be finalized in the near future, but we can keep it in the mind. Most likely, we will get back to it after solving the current problems which we mentioned above. I just don't know why they even stopped working on the marks. The marks were amazing. It was such a unique thing to the game. I just don't know why they stopped doing it. They should have just kept working on marks. Marks should have always been a thing. Marks should never have gone. I was meant to talk about this later. I don't know game design. I really don't. So I don't know if it's possible. Changes in the mark system greatly affect game modes, especially in the campaign and portal to the unknown. Now this goes to with the reworking of heroes. I don't know gaming, but is it possible? Is it possible to just keep the characters in campaign, in portal, exactly the same? Don't change them, but change the characters themselves that people use. Is it possible to do that? If so, do that. Don't change the heroes in the campaign and in the story mode and in the raids. Keep that exactly the same. What you could do is keep them exactly the same, release a new raid with the reworked heroes and make that a more difficult raid. Or make some PvE content with the reworked heroes, making it more challenging. We need challenging stuff in the game. Versing each other is not challenging. Clan Wars is not challenging. There is no challenging content in the game. Add challenging content. So yeah, I don't know. Marks, bring them back. Yeah, that should be a priority, to be honest, with the PvE content. Or just challenging content. Content and PvE mark system. Get on it. When will you reopen Portal to the Unknown Gates of Doom? This is pretty big. Due to the recent changes in the game, we had to reconfigure the Portal to the Unknown Gates of Doom. We've put a lot of effort to complete this work and relaunch the event. The Portal will reopen in June. Okay. January, February, March, April, May, June. So next month. Alright, we're nearly halfway through this month, so next month. Summarizing all of the above, we want to highlight that we are paying close attention close attention to the existing challenges and that we will continue working on them. Of course, this can't happen at once. We are moving gradually and reliably improving the game step by step. In the future, I'm getting a lot of Discord messages. In the future, we will continue to answer your questions and publish the details of upcoming updates. Thank you for being with us. Anatoly, you do such a good job. You cop so much. I'll write a comment later, not right now. So I did a lot of stuff in that. Main point is I'd love to see a poll. I'd love to see a poll on the general consensus of the community and where they stand on the Archons. Are we happy? Are we not happy? There's a plan, obviously. Dark Elves versus Archons, new faction versus Dark Elves, Archons versus new faction. Archons shit on everything else. Yeah, the new reworking old heroes. There's a lot of stuff in there. A lot of stuff. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm happy we've got something to go on. I'm happy there's direction, that we know what's happening. They need to do this far more often. They really do. Communication. I don't think communication is where it needs to be at. It needs to improve drastically still. I'll apply to be a community manager. It's important. The community needs to know stuff. I don't know. I really don't. It's too early for me to have an opinion, which is horrible to say because, a month from now, 2 months from now, when something's released, if I have an issue with it and I make a video, there are going to be those fuckheads out there. They're like, well, Poetry didn't say anything about it when he read it the first time. Fuck you. It's too early to tell. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll read your comments. I'll reply to your comments. Put them put them down below. I'll happily reply. Just remember, I'm just reading this. I don't have any say in any of this. There's a lot of information. This will be cool. This can't be the Renegades can't be the third faction, because they say that they're not going to be effective against the Archons. Where Balthazar is effective against the Archons, I can't imagine this not making him stronger against the Archons. So he can't be the third faction. Renegades can't be the third faction, but it looks so complete. Like, they look so far into it. Like, surely if one of their characters can blast through some shielding and do a fair bit of damage, that these guys will just boost that. Yeah, I don't know. Mark System will get on it. Anyway, I'm just not going to take any more of your time. I just wanted to go over it, tell you my thoughts. If you guys have comments, even below, I'll reply to them. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll answer it to the best of my ability. I really will. And wherever you are in the world, until next time, please take care of yourself.